Alright guys, time for the Seven of Pentacles. So the Seven of Pentacles has a gentleman standing and he is tending his garden, right? He has some sort of bushes or trees or something where he is reaping a harvest. So going with this theme, this card feels to me very much like some sort of endeavor that you are engaging in, where it is a long-term situation, right? Like if you decide to start an orchard or grow some berries, you know, you're not going to get berries within a week. You have to plant the plants, you have to tend to them, you have to water them, you have to protect them from the birds so that they don't eat all your fruit, right? Like there's a lot of planning and things that go into it. In fact, you may even need to build an irrigation system, right? So, you know, this card denotes some sort of plan that requires long-term planning, structure. Maybe there's multiple steps that need to be implemented. There's a lot of things that need to happen before you're going to start to receive from your efforts. But you will eventually receive from your efforts, right? At some point, the bushes will be more mature, they will produce the fruit or the berries, and then you will be able to harvest them and take them to market, and you will receive for all of your effort, okay? So what's important about this card is I do feel like the person is receiving, right? They are getting what they need through their efforts. It may be a lot of work, it may be a lot of hours, it may be a lot of steps, but they are receiving. Now when I move into this card upside down, what I feel is that this person is doing a lot of work, they're doing a lot of effort, but they're not receiving. They're not being compensated compared to all of the effort and attention and hours that they are putting in. And they feel frustrated, right? Like, whereas upright, this person is looking at a bush filled with pentacles or fruit or whatever the harvest is. This person is looking at a bush with no fruit, no pentacles, no harvest, right? So it's like, oh my goodness, like, it's almost a feeling of frustration, like, when is this going to bear fruit? When am I going to finally receive from all this effort I've put in? And if you get this card reversed, you may not receive from it, right? You may not ever receive from what you're doing because you're doing the wrong thing. You're not doing something that's aligned, right? You're doing something that's totally misaligned or that's wrong for you. You're on the wrong path and it's just not going to work because it's not right for you. Okay? The other thing this card can mean reversed is that maybe there's a couple of berries, right? But there's not nearly enough to survive. So it's working a little bit, but not really, not like you were hoping. Not like you were expecting. You thought you were going to get a whole grove of berries, but really you got like 20% of what you thought that you were going to get. So if that's the case, if you get that feeling from this card, then it's time to really assess, okay, you know, what are the trees that are producing the most fruit? Maybe I should just keep those trees and take out all of the other ones, right? Or maybe it's like, okay, let me assess what went right with the trees that are producing fruit, right? And then how can I replicate that to the trees that aren't producing fruit? So this card reversed might mean stepping back, having a serious assessment about what's working and what's not working, and identifying what the 20% of your activities or time or attention is that's actually creating the other 80 or 90% in your life. And that would be the 80-20 rule or the 90-10 rule. The 4-hour work week has a whole entire chapter devoted to the 80-20 rule. It's very good. You should just like Google 80-20 rule if you don't know what that is. So yes, definitely reassess. What are the things that are going to move you furthest, that are going to allow you to reap the most harvest? Identify those things, do those things, and then eliminate all the other things that are not that.